You ever notice how some plants kind of feel like they're keeping secrets? Like they're quietly sitting there in the corner of the kitchen, minding their business, but if you pay attention long enough, you start realizing, wait, this thing is actually doing some wizard-level stuff under the soil. Ginger is exactly that kind of plant. People see ginger in stores and think it comes from some tropical forest with parrots screaming in the background and rain dripping from giant leaves. Meanwhile, the truth is that ginger is practically begging to grow in your house. It is one of the most drama-free, low-stress, low-budget plants you can grow, and the craziest part is that it takes off so fast you'll be side-eyeing the pot, wondering how you suddenly became a ginger farmer without meaning to. And maybe that's the part gardeners online don't like telling you, because if you knew how easy ginger really is, you'd start asking deeper questions like, why am I paying all this money for tiny pieces of ginger in the store when I can literally grow a whole bucket of it on my balcony without trying? Ginger is the kind of plant that makes you feel a little too powerful. You feel like you unlocked a cheat code in the gardening world. And honestly, you kinda did. Now let me tell you something that even most gardening channels skip over. Ginger isn't just a plant you grow to harvest. Ginger is a plant you grow to watch. It grows like a slow burn. First, nothing happens, and you start thinking, maybe this won't work. Then, one morning, out of nowhere, a bright green shoot punches straight out of the soil like it's trying to escape. Give it a few days, and suddenly it looks like you've got a mini bamboo forest forming in your living room. And if your guests come over, they'll stare at it and go, "Whoa, what's that plant?" And you'll just casually say, "Oh, that's ginger," like you didn't scream a little inside the first time you saw it growing. But today, I want to take you deeper into this whole ginger growing world. Not the generic, cut the rhizome, plant it, cover it, water it advice everyone and their neighbor already knows. I'm talking about the real inside tricks. The kind of tricks that make ginger grow faster, stronger, and way more fragrant than the basic tutorials tell you. Because if you're watching Urban Eden Garden, you're here for the tips that actually work, not the dusty methods people keep repeating without thinking. And that brings us straight into this idea of growing ginger in 0 to 2 months of growth. Yes, ginger takes time to fully mature, but what if I told you that you could start seeing visible, usable, impressive ginger growth in as little as a few weeks? What if the whole setup process didn't have to be slow, boring, or overly complicated? And what if everything you needed was already in your kitchen? See, the biggest mistake people make with ginger is that they treat it like a plant that needs them to do all the heavy lifting. Meanwhile, ginger is like that self-sufficient friend who can take care of themselves but appreciates it when you give them a little attention and a comfortable place to stay. If you understand what ginger likes, you can grow it in a bucket, in a sack, in a pot on a windowsill, even in a plastic bowl you forgot you owned. Ginger is not picky. Ginger is just misunderstood. Most people grab ginger from the grocery store and start planting right away. And don't get me wrong, you can definitely grow grocery store ginger, but if you really want to take advantage of that fast 0 to 2 month growth window, you need to understand ginger's personality. Ginger doesn't want to be shoved into cold soil the moment you bring it home. Ginger wants warmth. Ginger wants moisture. Ginger wants to wake up before it's planted, the same way you want your coffee before you talk to anybody in the morning. That's why the sprouting phase is one of the biggest secrets to fast-growing ginger. Most gardeners stick their ginger in the soil and hope. But the smart gardeners, the ones who grow ginger like it's their side hustle, they pre-sprout it. And pre-sprouting makes ginger wake up faster than someone smelling fresh jollof rice from 2 rooms away. Let me paint this picture for you. You bring your ginger home. Instead of dropping it into soil immediately, you treat it like a guest. You set it somewhere warm, not hot, not cooking, just warm enough that it feels comfortable. Some people place it near a window. Some wrap it in a slightly damp paper towel and put it in a container. Some even put it in a breathable bag. And in a few days, ginger starts growing little yellow-green nubs called eyes. Those little eyes are basically ginger saying, "All right, I'm awake. What's next?" Once you see those eyes forming, that ginger is ready to sprint. Not walk, sprint. This is where the 0 to 2 month magic starts, because when ginger wakes up before planting, the moment you place it in soil, it doesn't sit there trying to decide if it wants to grow, it just grows, and you'll be shocked at how quickly those shoots appear. Now, here's another part no one talks about. Ginger likes space, but not too much space all at once. People love planting in giant containers, thinking the ginger will be happier, but ginger doesn't want to live in a mansion on day one. Ginger wants a cozy starter home, something snug, something warm, something that keeps the humidity and heat close. If you plant ginger in a huge pot too early, the soil stays cold and ginger just sits there waiting like, excuse me, I asked for warmth, not a freezer. So what do you do instead? You start small. You give ginger a small pot or shallow tray until it wakes up fully. Then once it starts pushing new roots and shoots, then you transplant it into its bigger final container. This technique alone can shave literal weeks off your ginger's growth time. It's like starting a baby chick under a heat lamp before moving it outside. It needs that initial boost. Ginger is no different. But let's talk about something even simpler, the soil. And listen, don't overcomplicate this. Ginger is not asking for imported volcanic soil mixed with moon dust. Ginger will grow in anything loose. Loose is the key word. If you give ginger compacted, heavy soil, it will act like you told it to dig through concrete, and it'll grow slowly just out of frustration. But the moment you give ginger loose soil, something airy, something that drains but still holds moisture, ginger starts spreading underground like it's expanding a small kingdom. That's when you start noticing new rhizomes forming sideways, not just downward. And that's what you want. You want your ginger spreading like a rumor. And here's where things get really fun. Did you know ginger actually likes being mulched? Not the wood chip kind, but soft mulch, something that locks in moisture and keeps heat inside. Some gardeners use dried leaves, some use shredded plant material. I personally like using something light, something that keeps the soil warm without making it soggy. When you mulch ginger, you're basically tucking it into a warm blanket every night. And what happens when people sleep under warm blankets? They sleep deeper. Plants do the same. But we're not stopping there, because if you're watching this, you want the full cheat code. You want the kind of ginger growth that makes your neighbors suspicious. And for that, you need to understand what ginger eats. Ginger is not a heavy feeder, but it appreciates good food, especially potassium. Potassium is like ginger's energy drink. Too much nitrogen and ginger will give you tall, leafy stems, but barely any rhizome underground. But moderate potassium, ginger thickens up so fast you'll feel like it's been going to the gym on your behalf. Some gardeners use banana water, some use compost tea, some crush dried banana peels. You don't have to buy anything special. Ginger is grateful for whatever you give it. Now imagine this. You planted your sprouted ginger in warm, loose soil, you kept it in a cozy pot, you watered it gently. Not too much, not too little, just enough to keep the soil moist like a wrung-out sponge. And after about 3 to 4 weeks, the first shoots pop up. By week 4, you've got a legit plant. By week 6, you see the stalks thickening. And by the time you hit the 2-month mark, you can dig your fingers gently into the soil and feel actual baby ginger forming. That is the moment you'll understand why ginger is addictive to grow. And that's exactly where people start getting brave with their ginger plants. Because once you realize something actually worked, once you see those green stalks standing tall, something inside you awakens. Suddenly you're checking the pot every morning like a parent checking on a sleeping baby. You're watering it with the confidence of someone who knows they're doing the right thing. You're rotating the pot like you're adjusting a satellite dish. And that's the moment ginger really starts rewarding you. But here's the truth nobody mentions. Ginger responds to attention. Not obsessive, smothering attention. I'm not telling you to babysit it like a fragile princess, but the right kind of attention. Ginger likes routine. Ginger likes consistency. Ginger likes when you don't surprise it with icy water one day and hot water the next. Ginger likes when you don't let it dry out for 2 weeks and then suddenly soak it like a flood. If you want your ginger to sprint in this 0-2 month window, you need to treat it like a living thing. not background decor. This is where things get interesting, because once ginger hits that first month mark, it's not the same plant anymore. It's not a little rhizome sitting quietly under the soil. It's now a growing, stretching, expanding plant preparing for a full season of production. And if you give it a nudge at this stage, just a gentle nudge, it will explode with growth. And that nudge is sunlight. Not harsh, direct sun that fries the leaves. Ginger hates that. Ginger is a forest floor plant by nature. In the wild, ginger grows under trees, not on top of them, which means it loves that soft, filtered light, the kind of light that feels warm but not painful, the kind of light that makes you feel like taking a nap. That's ginger's favorite vibe. Once your ginger hits about 4 to 6 weeks of growth, give it more of that gentle light. Move it somewhere brighter, not sunburned bright, just comfortably lit. You'll notice the leaves get greener, the stalks get thicker, the plant stands more upright like it finally realized it belongs here. But that's not even the most exciting part. The real magic starts when you realize ginger is one of those plants where the underground part responds to what's happening above ground. Most plants do the opposite. The roots grow first, then the top. Ginger is like, no. Let me make myself look good first before I bulk up underground. It's giving plant influencer energy. So if you want more ginger underground, one little trick is to gently hill soil around the base as it grows. You don't bury it completely, you just add layers gradually as the plant gets taller. Think of it like giving ginger a little step stool every time it grows up, encouraging it to stretch its underground fingers sideways. Do this right, and by the end of your 2-month window, you'll have young ginger forming faster than you expected. But let me tell you something even more surprising. Ginger absolutely loves humidity. Not swampy, sticky humidity, but soft moisture in the air. Think bathroom after a warm shower. And you don't need to fog your house or turn your living room into a rainforest. Even light humidity helps ginger grow smoother and fresher. Some gardeners mist their ginger lightly in the mornings. Some place a tray of water nearby. Some cluster their plants together to create a microclimate. Ginger appreciates all of this. It thrives in that soft, warm air. It responds like it's being pampered. And this is where your ginger starts looking like a full plant, not just a sprout. The leaves become long and elegant, the stalks rise in clusters, the whole pot looks like lush, tropical foliage. And people who visit your home will ask, "What plant is that?" And you'll get to smile and say, "Oh, that? Just ginger." And they'll look at you like you casually said you raise tigers in your backyard. By the time you enter the 2nd month with your ginger, you'll notice something subtle but exciting. The soil begins to rise slightly. Not in a creepy, supernatural way, just a gentle lift. That's ginger expanding. That's ginger growing new rhizomes. That's ginger stretching its elbows underground because it finally has room and freedom. This is where feeding comes in. But don't overthink it. Ginger does not need expensive fertilizers. In fact, ginger doesn't even want them. All ginger wants is steady, gentle nutrition. Something organic if possible. Something mild, something that releases slowly, like a plant version of slow-cooked food. If you have compost, your ginger's already happy. If you have worm castings, even better. If all you have is leftover plant-based kitchen scraps broken down into compost tea, that's perfect. Ginger is the kind of plant that appreciates the effort more than the ingredients. Now, let's talk about watering. This part scares people more than it should. Some new gardeners think ginger wants to be soaked all the time because it likes moisture. Wrong. Ginger likes moisture, not waterlogging. When ginger's roots sit in too much water, it stops growing. It sulks, it literally shuts down. But when the soil is lightly moist, like a squeezed sponge, ginger wakes up every day feeling energized. Consistency is the key. Not too much water, not too little, just steady moisture. And here's something fun. Ginger tells you when it's unhappy. Not with dramatic drooping like tomatoes, not with yellow leaves overnight like cucumbers. Ginger is subtle. If the tips of the leaves start browning, it means the air is too dry. If the lower leaves start yellowing, it means you're watering too much or the soil is too heavy. If the plant leans or stretches, it wants more light. Ginger is quiet, but it communicates. Now, let's move into something most people don't talk about because they think it's too advanced, but it's actually simple. Ginger can be trained. Yes, trained. Not like a dog, obviously, but trained in the sense that you can shape how it grows. Some gardeners like letting ginger grow tall and bushy. Some like compact growth. Some even plant ginger alongside other plants like turmeric or lemongrass to create a mini indoor jungle. Ginger doesn't mind sharing space as long as the companion plant isn't aggressive. And guess what? Growing ginger with other plants helps maintain humidity. It creates a micro-ecosystem. It helps ginger feel like it's back home in the forest understory, which makes it grow faster, which is exactly what you want. And now we get to the best part. Harvesting young ginger. Not fully mature ginger with thick, tough skins. I'm talking young ginger, baby ginger, the kind that's soft, fragrant, juicy, and unbelievably fresh. The kind that you can grate without crying. The kind that costs 3 times more in the supermarket because it's so seasonal. When your ginger reaches that 2-month mark, you don't harvest everything. You do something smarter. You side harvest. You dig your fingers gently into the edge of the soil, locate a swollen rhizome, snap off a piece carefully, and then cover the soil back. The plant doesn't die, it doesn't panic, it doesn't slow down. In fact, it grows more because you created space for new rhizomes to form. It's the gardening version of trimming split ends. The plant grows better afterward. This right here is why ginger is such a satisfying plant. You harvest, and the plant keeps growing. You encourage growth, and it responds quickly. You give it comfort, and it rewards you with flavor. And by the time you reach the full growth season, 6 months, 8 months, even 10 months, you'll have enough ginger to use, store, regrow, share, or even turn into a yearly cycle of endless ginger supply. And the best part? You did it without spending more than a few coins, without buying fancy tools, without stressing or guessing, without overcomplicating anything. You simply followed ginger's natural rhythm, and it responded like the low-budget, high-reward plant it is. And once you realize how simple this whole process really is, something shifts in the way you look at gardening. You stop seeing it as a struggle, or a money pit, or a hobby that demands too much from you. You start seeing it as something that actually gives back, something that fits into your daily life without stress. Ginger is proof of that. It's proof that you don't need acres of land or fancy tools or rare seeds to grow something real. You just need the willingness to try and the patience to let nature do what it does best. And honestly, that's the part I wish more people understood. Gardening isn't about perfection. It's about discovery. It's about watching something come alive because you gave it a chance. And ginger makes that discovery feel exciting every single time. The smell, the growth, the flavor, the constant little surprises, it makes you feel connected to your space in a new way. Even if you're growing in a tiny balcony, even if your garden is just 3 pots near your kitchen window, even if you're working with the smallest budget possible. That's the beauty of it. That's the entire spirit of Urban Eden Garden, creating abundance from simple things, making your space feel alive without burning holes in your pocket, showing you that gardening isn't about how much you spend, but how much you understand your plants. And ginger is the perfect example of that, because once you grow it successfully, even once, you'll never stop. You'll break off a piece, plant it again, grow more, harvest more, repeat the cycle, tweak your methods, try different containers, experiment with lighting, test out your own ideas. And every time, ginger will meet you halfway. That's the joy of this plant. It's forgiving, it's rewarding, it's low effort and high return. And it makes you feel strangely proud every time you pull it out of the soil and realize, wow, I grew this. And honestly, that's the best part of gardening. It's what keeps you coming back. It's what makes you look at your plants differently. It's what turns a hobby into a lifestyle without you even noticing. So, if you've been watching this and thinking, should I try this? The answer is yes, 100% yes. Start with 1 piece of ginger, 1 pot, 1 space. Give it warmth, give it moisture, give it softness, give it time, and watch what happens. You're gonna surprise yourself. And when you do, come back and tell me. Seriously, I always love hearing your results, your photos, your experiments, even your questions. Because this channel isn't just me talking and you watching, it's a community. It's a shared little corner of the gardening world where we learn from each other and grow real food with real joy. So, if you found this helpful, or inspiring, or even a bit entertaining, here's what I want you to do. And trust me, it makes a huge difference. Hit that like button so YouTube knows this was worth your time. Drop a comment telling me where you're growing from or how your ginger experiment is going. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Urban Eden Garden. Not only does it support the channel, it also keeps you in the loop whenever I drop more simple, low-budget gardening tricks that actually work. The kind of hacks that save you money and grow you real food no matter how small your space is. So, go grab that ginger. Start today, and I'll see you in the next one where we keep turning tiny spaces into real gardens, one plant at a time.